From defiance to damage control, Zohran Mamdani, once unwilling to condemn Hamas, now says they should lay down arms. Critics call it cowardice. Supporters call it a strategy. Either way, New York's most controversial candidate just blinked. Socialist New York City mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani appeared to backtrack on his position about Hamas laying down arms in his October 16th mayoral debate. During the debate, Mamdani said,
"Of course, I believe that they should lay down their arms."
Mamdani was responding to a question from a moderator who said his previous answer, made to Fox News anchor Martha McCallum, was confusing after he dodged questions when she asked if he believes Hamas should lay down weapons and leave leadership in Gaza, according to the ceasefire agreement it entered into. He reiterated that both Hamas and the Israeli military should abide by international law.
I don't really have opinions about the future of Hamas and Israel beyond the question of justice and safety.
However, earlier on October 15th, during an interview with Fox News, mayoral frontrunner Zohran Mamdani repeatedly refused to say that Hamas should lay down its weapons, as he stood by his promise to arrest Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu if he came to New York City. During the debate, Mamdani said he hoped that President Trump's negotiated ceasefire is durable and just.
I, like many New Yorkers, am hopeful that this ceasefire will hold. I'm hopeful that it is durable. I'm hopeful that it is just. And for it to be just, we also have to ensure that it addresses the conditions that preceded this. Conditions like occupation, like the siege, and apartheid. And that is what I'm hopeful for.
This was again a shift from his previous day's interview, where he said it was too early to give Trump credit for the ceasefire in Gaza. Shortly after Mamdani's response, social media accounts labeled his comments as a new answer. Mamdani has been widely criticized in recent months for his positions on Israel. During the debate, he accused Israel of genocide several times, while also calling on Hamas to honor the ceasefire. He further insisted that he would refuse to recognize Israel as an explicitly Jewish state.
I've said time and again that I recognize Israel's right to exist. I would not recognize any state's right to exist with a system of hierarchy on the basis of race or religion.
Notably, Trump has sought to influence the outcome of the New York mayor's race and has repeatedly threatened to withhold federal funding from New York should Mamdani win the contest next month. And the president's influence in New York was a central discussion of the debate. Each candidate was asked when he had last spoken with Trump, with Cuomo saying he believed it was after the attempt on Trump's life in Pennsylvania last year. Sliwa said it had been many years, while Mamdani said he had never spoken to Trump. But Mamdani did express willingness to work with Trump to lower costs, before he attacked Cuomo over reports that he had discussed the race with Trump.
I would make it clear to the president that I am willing to not only speak to him, but to work with him if it means delivering on lowering the cost of living for New Yorkers. That's something that he ran his presidential campaign on, and yet all he's been able to deliver thus far has been prosecuting his political enemies and trying to enact the largest deportation program in American history. And what distinguishes me from Andrew Cuomo is the fact that he has gotten on the phone with that same president, not asking him how to work together to help New Yorkers, or not telling him that he would refuse to back down to protect those New Yorkers, but instead asking him how to win this race. That's something I can do myself. I don't need the president's assistance for. And what I tell the president is if he ever wants to come for New Yorkers in the way that he has been, he's going to have to get through me as the next mayor of this city.
Following the debate, NBC News asked Mamdani what he would say to New Yorkers concerned that Trump would follow through on threats to punish the city by withholding additional federal funding should the state assemblyman win next month.
I think what we're seeing right now is that Donald Trump is making a threat every day that he wakes up. He's making a threat to suspend funding to the city, like the $18 billion in infrastructure grants he's already made good on. Threats to suspend more than $50 million because we refused to give up our trans students, or $80 million because we actually wanted to take care of every person in the city, regardless of their status. I would actually fight each of those threats, not treat them as law because they come out of his mouth.
He also pointed to legal battles in California, saying that for every dollar they spent on legal fees, they retrieved more than $30,000 in federal funds that would have been stripped from them. Following the debate, Mamdani faced vitriolic attacks. Representative Elise Stefanik, a Republican ally of President Trump and likely candidate for governor of New York next year, called Mamdani a jihadist. Representative Laura Gillen, a Democrat from Long Island who has opposed Mamdani's candidacy, said,
"He was pro-Hamas and unfit to hold any office in the United States."
Mamdani's harsh criticism of Israel and vocal support for Palestinian rights has been a bone of contention for months in the race for mayor. Still, the attacks marked a new level of acrimony in the race's final weeks. Meanwhile, his allies described the rhetoric as xenophobic and dangerous. Dora Pekek, a spokesperson for Mamdani, said,
"We should call these comments out for what they are. Lazy Islamophobic attacks on the Democratic nominee poised to become our city's first Muslim mayor."
Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, said on October 16th that Mamdani's comments reflected how the Democratic Party was catering to what she called Hamas terrorists, illegal aliens, and violent criminals. His views on Hamas and Israel has brought him the wrath of even Democrats. Hamas was the reason that prominent Democrats like Senator Chuck Schumer and Representative Hakeem Jeffries have not endorsed him.